Mr. Stolt and Minnie Stolt, we have another mission for you to recover stolen artwork.
Mr. Stolt, I can't believe we've been selected to be the secret investigators.
Yeah, I can't believe it either, Minnie. I mean, we only cracked one case.
Yeah, but it was a good case. We Mona Lisa and all, yeah. So that's why we're on this one, because it's another art-related one. We're like art expert detectives.
I guess so.
So, how are we gonna crack this case?
Well, let's look at these details here, find out all the background information. We'll question the suspects, and we'll try to gather some evidence, and maybe even track down these paintings.
Imagine owning $500 million worth of art, and then exactly 81 minutes later, it's long gone, stolen by cunning thieves. That's what happened at the Gardner Museum back in 1990. The art has never resurfaced, and the perpetrators remain at large. Nearly 30 years later, it's still touted as one of the most devastating thefts of private art in America and worldwide.
Alright, let's look for clues.
What's so funny, Minnie?
You look silly, Mr. Stolt.
Come on, Minnie. Stop playing with the magnifying glass. Let's get working on this case. We got a lot to do, you know. So, we have no time to be playing around with the magnifying glasses. I don't see what's so funny. There's nothing funny about these magnifying glasses. Let's just get to work, okay?
Okay, it's funny. Okay,
let's go.
Alright, anyway, let's get back to the case. March 18, 1990, the museum fell victim to a historic art heist. Though only 13 paintings were stolen, the estimated worth is over $500 million. Well, ironically, at the same time as the robbery, the museum was in the middle of updating their outdated security. On the night in question, two inexperienced night guards were keeping watch. The first guard, named Richard E. Abbott, was a music school dropout who was in a rock band. He was a rock performer by day and a security guard by night. Around 12:54 a.m., before the thieves had successfully entered the building, the fire alarm went off on the third floor of the museum. When they checked it out, there was no fire. Whether this is part of the thieves' plan is unknown. At 1:24 a.m., two men dressed as policemen buzzed into the security desk where Abbott was stationed. The men said they were responding to a distress call and demanded entry. Abbott buzzed the two officers in through the employee entry, violating museum protocol. Then one of the officers says to Abbott, quote, "You look familiar. I think we have a default warrant out for you. Come out here and show us some identification." Abbott was tricked to leave his control desk, which was the only button that would immediately notify the police. He was then instructed to face the wall and stand with his legs spread out. Abbott recalls while he was being handcuffed that he thought it was odd that he was not searched first, and it dawned on him that this could be a robbery. At this time, the second security guard showed up and was also arrested. The second security guard asked, "Why am I being arrested?" And the man replied, "You're not being arrested. This is a robbery. Don't give us any problems and you won't get hurt." The guard replied, "Don't worry, they don't pay me enough to get hurt." The guards' heads, hands, and legs were tied up with duct tape. Motion detectors in the museum showed the robbers then went to the second floor and split up, removing various pieces of art from the walls. During the heist, an alarm went off. It was meant to alert the guards that someone had gotten too close to the artwork. The robbers found it and smashed it. At 2:28 a.m., the robbers returned to the security items taken in on the three Rembrandts. It was hardly a gilded Philian eagle from a Napoleon banner. The thieves also tried taking a fourth Rembrandt, but that apparently was too hard to remove. And then removed tapes that captured their movements outside the side door and other places inside the museum. After 13 minutes, they got ready to leave, taking their artwork to their vehicle in two separate trips. There were witnesses who recalled seeing the thieves near the museum sitting in their red hatchback. Mr. Stolt, that makes no sense. Wait a minute. You got these cool bad guys and you're like, breaking into an art museum and getting some paintings, and they're being super, stealthy, and they're getting away, and then they get away in a hatchback. Are you kidding me? I mean, it couldn't be like a sports car or something like that, but a hatchback? They're not very smart, though. I mean, of course they couldn't fit that big painting. It's a hatchback. I mean, like a truck would have been better or something, but a hatchback? Are you kidding me?
Totally agree, Minnie. I mean, come on, motorcycle, something.
You can't carry a lot of artwork on a motorcycle.
That's a good point, too. But at least you look cool.
True story. Okay. Alright, let's check out some more evidence. Skipping to about 4 hours later, sometime between 6:45 and 8:16 a.m., the 2 morning shift guards showed up to work unable to enter the museum, prompting the deputy security officer to call the police. At 8:30, the police showed up and discovered the 2 night security guards tied up in the basement. Despite wearing gloves, which prevented leaving fingerprints, the thieves didn't cover their faces, which let the guards get a good look at them. However, the security guard, Abbott, could not recall what the men looked like. When asked by the Boston police, Abbott recalls the police sketch, quote, was awful, end quote. Though in 2005, Abbott mentioned, quote, one of them looked like Colonel Klink on Hogan's Heroes. That's all I can remember, end quote. Alright, now let's get to it. Theory number 1. Brian McDevitt, art thief. He did a similar art robbery in the 1980s, where he drugged a FedEx guy, stole his uniform, and he was carrying some duct tape. Yeah, where he planned to bind the gallery employees, but he got stuck in traffic. Yeah, and arrived after the gallery was closed. Now, he served a few months in jail for attempted robbery, but he also lived 10 minutes away from the Gardner Museum, so he was questioned by the FBI in 1992 in front of a grand jury, and his lawyer said that his client knew nothing about the crime. The second theory was a classic, that the heist was an inside job. This would explain how the thieves would know where the only alarm button was hidden, and also their knowledge of how the paintings did not have anti-theft devices. The FBI claimed that security guard Richard E. Abbott has not been ruled out as a suspect. The suspicion goes beyond Abbott not being good at his job. As mentioned before, Abbott could not remember what the robbers looked like shortly after the heist. Also, despite the thieves' failure to destroy motion sensor equipment, the motion sensors oddly did not register their movement on the first floor where a piece was stolen, but the same equipment picked up Abbott making his rounds before the thieves arrived. He also broke security protocol by granting the disguised policeman entry. Museum policy prohibits letting unauthorized personnel, including police, from entering the museum. Abbott states he was unaware of this policy. Yet, this was not the first time he broke this policy. The security tape also shows Abbott letting in an unauthorized visitor the night before the heist. Law enforcement officials believe that this person may have been scouting out the area for a dry run. Abbott says he does not remember the visitor despite being caught on tape. Nonetheless, in 2015, Abbott stated in an interview he's still angry about that night. The third theory comes from Dutch private investigator Arthur Brand, an expert in international art crime. In his impressive endeavors to recover stolen art, Brand has posed as a Texas oil millionaire, a representative for G and Princess, as well as a general criminal. In one instance, negotiated with gangs to recover $25 million of artwork. In 1991, about a year after the heist, Brand acquired images of the stolen artwork in storage somewhere in Holland. In 2010, Brand and Heard were in possession of a member of the Irish Republican Army. After working on the case with the FBI for roughly 12 years, Brand thinks the pieces were originally stolen by small-time who stole the artwork and gave it to some U.S. gang members who then possibly took it to Ireland to IRA commander. Brand estimates that he could get the artwork back in a matter of months. He will not give details of why he believes this, is that the investigation and the leads are, quote, making the haystack smaller. FBI spokeswoman Kristen Stera, the FBI believe with high confidence that we have identified those responsible for the theft, even though we still don't know where the artwork is currently located. Dun dun dun!
And that brings us to our art project options. Option number 1, marker secret message decoder. First, you're going to write on a piece of paper in cyan or light blue a secret message. Then cover it up with a bunch of different messages written in red, yellow, orange, and pink. And then get a Ziploc bag and color it with a red marker to reveal the secret message. Option 2, black light secret message decoder. Now you need a black light for this. Then you can write in a highlighter a secret message and then color over it with markers or Sharpies. Then you get a black light and shine over it and it will reveal the secret message. Now once again, you have to have a black light to do this, a highlighter, and some markers or Sharpies to color it in. Don't worry about covering it up, the highlighter will come through. Option 3, try to draw a police sketch from description. I will give you a description of 2 suspects, and you try to draw what I am saying. Now, I will be much simpler than these 2 drawings of a real police sketch. It will actually be a cartoon or kids show character that I will describe, and you will try to draw and figure it out. All right, have fun and choose the art project you want to do.